Okay. My name is Raina, but my full name is Raina Celeste Martins.
We're on.
Excellent.
Yep, and you can just start by saying your name. You can say just shocking to me.
My parents were obsessed with names that started with R, and I think didn't really have any attachment to naming me something giving me a popular name. So we're kind of searching out for a unique name. And they were gonna name me Regina, Renee, or Raina. But they chose Raina, and it means queen, which is something that I love. That's, I think, my favorite thing about my name. And my mom chose it, I think, specifically because it could be translated and said in a lot of different languages. Like Reina is easy to say in Spanish because it means queen, and easy to say in Japanese, which my mom had studied. So they wanted a really translatable name, which I think is cool. And I definitely think feeling I felt a little bit different in other ways, and also my name reflected that in a positive way, because it reinforced me being okay, I'm gonna do my own thing, I am my own person, I'm a little bit different, that's okay. And I think when you talk about coming into your name, I think part of that for me is accepting and embracing that difference. And also, I love to think about the idea of being a queen and all these other women I know that are queens. And I'm really not necessarily down with royalty and the idea of royalty, ruling over other people, but I love to think about all the people that I know that are queens and can be queens. And Daia's Lost Queens, I think is such a good example of that, embracing what is royal. Yeah, I think definitely names and race have a lot to do with each other. And Raina is not really a white name. It's not Emma or Sara. And so I definitely think that there was more mispronunciation from white people than maybe black people, or people who were just used to saying not the 50 top names. The first Raina that I met was really cool. I think one of my friends introduced me to her, and she was black, and that was interesting for me. I was okay, do I have a white name? What does that mean? What does it mean when someone sees my resume? I don't know, there's so much discrimination that people face based on their names and what people assume about them. And I don't think that I face that discrimination necessarily. But I also think having a name that's a little bit different has helped me understand maybe what it's for other people who don't have names that are on TV. Yeah. I guess it was a first step to being okay, I don't have to be a cookie cutter person. It feels there's as a little white girl, it was okay, there's 10 different I could be Sarah the nurse, or Michelle the doctor, or whatever, the secretary, and it felt I got an out to some of those stereotypes of who I'm allowed to imagine myself as. And I think it was easier for me to get out of having only one way of imagining my life, especially as an artist. We haven't even talked about that, but being okay, I'm an artist, I not necessarily that being an artist means being different, but I think it means taking your perspective back a little bit on the world and looking at it in a different way. And I think part of that is my name, it helped me step out and take a look on what was going on in the world. Yeah, I do ceramics and also some performance art, and I think I always feel weird, my name doesn't seem it's not very catchy or something. There's certain artist names that just work. They're short and punchy, and I always feel a little bit weird about about having my first name or my last name on things, because it feels like mismatched or like bland or weird or like hard to like envision what like the brand of that person is from the name. For a while I was signing my like the bottom of my ceramic pots with just an R and then an M and turning the M into a little crown. And that was something I was excited about, like, okay, you don't have to know what Raina means, you don't even have to know my name, but if you like know like the RM with the crown, like that feels like more like a name or something that can represent me than maybe my full name. But I'm pretty sure at some point I'll feel like, oh yeah, like Raina Martins, that's like a name I want to put on my work or want to have next to my work. That was what I was most like. I was like, my name is Raina, Raina means queen. I think like feeling different and then having to be like, I may be different, but I am also queen. Like having self-esteem and like knowing that I'm like valuable and worthwhile and like being straight up with people and direct with people, and not having to like seek validation through other people, but like knowing who I am. When I was little, I used to sit on the playground and always be like, I feel like an alien, like where did I come from? Like I'm so weird, like how am I supposed to relate to any people? And my last name is Martins and it means Martian, and I was always like, okay, it's okay, like my first name means queen, my last name means Martian, like this is who like I just was meant to be, like I'm like a Martian queen and that's okay. And I think that thinking about that is something that got me through feeling like a weird little kid. Yeah, I think definitely. I think it totally resides in me. I think I've just gotten better at relating to other people and better at like embracing that and not feeling like so overwhelmed by it. Yeah. All right.